Have you ever stopped to think about the coins in your pocket? We see them every day. We use them to buy a soda or a newspaper. Sometimes, we might even toss a penny into a fountain for good luck. These small metal discs are just a normal part of our lives. But, each coin is more than just money. It's actually a tiny piece of history. It carries a story that is thousands of years old. This story is about kings and queens, about great empires, and about the very beginning of trade. It connects us to people who lived long, long ago. These coins feel solid and real in our hands. They have weight and a cool touch. They make that familiar jingle when they knock together. This physical nature is what makes them so special. Before coins, people traded goods directly. This was called barter. Like, you might trade your chickens for a bag of wheat, but this was not always easy. What if the other person did not want your chickens? Coins solved this problem. They created a standard value that everyone could agree on. This simple idea changed everything about how people lived and worked together. Just think about the designs on a simple American quarter. You see the face of George Washington, our first president. On the other side, you might see an eagle, a symbol of our nation's strength. Sometimes you find special designs for different states. These images are not just for decoration, they are messages. They tell us what we value as a country. They remind us of our history and our leaders. Every country puts its own story on its coins. It's a way of saying, this is who we are. Looking at a coin is like reading a page from a history book. So the next time you find a stray coin on the sidewalk, pick it up. Take a moment to really look at it. Consider its journey. It may have been minted just last year, but its ancestors are ancient. It has passed through countless hands, each with its own story. It has been part of millions of small transactions that make our economy work. That small piece of metal connects you to a global story of trade, power, and culture. It's a powerful reminder that history is not just in museums, it's right here, in our pockets, waiting to be noticed. The story of coins begins around 2,700 years ago. It starts in a kingdom called Lydia, in what is now modern-day Turkey. Before coins, people used precious metals like gold and silver for trade. But there was a big problem. A merchant had to weigh the metal every single time they made a transaction. They also had to check if the metal was pure. This was slow and difficult. People needed a better way. They needed something that was easy to carry, had a set value, and was trusted by everyone. This need sparked one of the most important inventions in human history. The Lydians came up with a genius solution. They took a naturally occurring mix of gold and silver called electrum. They formed it into small, bean-shaped lumps. Then, they stamped each lump with a special mark. This mark was usually the symbol of their king, like a lion's head. This stamp was a guarantee. It promised two things: the weight of the lump and the purity of the metal. Suddenly, people no longer needed to bring their scales to the market. They could just count the lumps. These were the world's first coins. Why did this idea catch on so quickly? Well, it made life much simpler for everyone. For merchants, trade became faster and more efficient. They could do more business in a day. For rulers, it was a way to control the economy. They were the only ones who could make the official coins. They could also use coins to pay their soldiers. Soldiers who were paid in reliable money were loyal soldiers. Coins also made it easier to collect taxes. The king could demand that taxes be paid in his own currency, giving him more power and wealth. So, the invention of coins was not just about making shopping easier, it was a revolution. It created a new kind of trust between strangers. You could accept a coin from someone you didn't know because you trusted the king's stamp, not the person. This trust is the foundation of all modern economies. It allowed trade to grow beyond small villages. It helped build cities and empires. That small stamped piece of metal from Lydia was the seed from which our entire global financial system grew. It was a simple idea with world-changing consequences. The idea of coinage was just too good to stay in one place for long. From Lydia, this innovation spread like wildfire across the ancient world. The Greeks, who were great sailors and traders, quickly saw the benefits. They lived just across the Aegean Sea from Lydia. They learned about coins through trade and started making their own. By the 6th century BC, many Greek city-states like Athens and Corinth were minting their own beautiful silver coins. This new technology helped fuel a golden age of Greek commerce and culture, spreading their influence far and wide. As Greek traders traveled across the Mediterranean, they brought their coins with them. People in other lands saw how useful they were. Soon, civilizations from Egypt to Persia began to adopt the practice. Each culture added its own unique touch. The Persians created a famous gold coin called the darak, which featured their king holding a bow and arrow. This became one of the first international currencies, trusted across a vast empire. The spread of coins followed the roots of trade and conquest, knitting the ancient world together in a new economic web. Further east, a different but parallel story was unfolding. In China, money was also evolving. Instead of stamped lumps of metal, the Chinese started by using valuable items like cowrie shells. Around the same time that coins appeared in Lydia, the Chinese began making metal money. Their first coins were not round. They were shaped like tools, such as small knives or spades. This showed that they came from a system of bartering actual tools. Over time, these tool-shaped coins became smaller and more stylized, eventually leading to the creation of something new. This independent invention of coinage in both the West and the East shows just how powerful the idea was. Different cultures, facing similar problems of trade and value, arrived at similar solutions. In the West, the Lydian model of round stamped coins became the standard. In the East, Chinese tool money would eventually evolve into the iconic round coins with a square hole in the middle. These two great traditions of coinage would develop for centuries, shaping the economic destinies of billions of people and proving that the need for a reliable form of money is, well, truly universal. The ancient Greeks did not just copy the Lydian idea, they perfected it. They turned coins into miniature works of art. The city-state of Athens created one of the most famous coins in history, the silver tetradrachm. On one side, it had the head of the goddess Athena, the city's protector. On the other side was an owl, a symbol of wisdom. These owls, as they were called, were known for their high-quality silver and consistent weight. They became the most trusted currency in the Mediterranean for hundreds of years. Merchants from Spain to Egypt happily accepted Athenian owls in payment. The Romans, in turn, learned about coins from the Greeks. As the Roman Republic grew into a mighty empire, its coins became a powerful tool of control and propaganda. Roman coins were minted in vast quantities and spread to every corner of their domain, from Britain to Syria. The most common coin was the silver denarius. It usually featured the head of the emperor on one side. This was a brilliant move. It meant that every person in the empire, rich or poor, would see the face of their ruler every day. It was a constant reminder of who was in charge. The other side of Roman coins was used to send messages. Think of it as a tiny billboard. After a military victory, the emperor might issue a coin showing captured enemies or celebrating a new bridge he had built. These images communicated the power, success, and generosity of the emperor to the entire population. For many people living in faraway provinces, these coins were the only image they would ever see of their ruler. Coins became a vital instrument for building a shared Roman identity across a vast and diverse empire. They were as mighty as any legion. The quality of Roman coins also tells a story. During times of prosperity, the coins were made of pure silver or gold. But during times of crisis, emperors would mix in cheaper metals like copper to save money. This is called debasement. People were not fooled. They knew the coins were worth less, and this often led to inflation and economic chaos. By studying the metal content of Roman coins, historians can pinpoint periods of war, famine, and political instability. The coins themselves serve as a direct record of the empire's rise and fall. While the West was developing its tradition of round coins, China was following its own unique path. As we saw, their earliest metal money was shaped like everyday objects, such as spades and knives. These were cast in bronze, not stamped like Greek and Roman coins. This casting technology allowed for mass production on a scale that was hard to match in the West. Around 221 BC, the first emperor of China, Qin Shi Huang, did something revolutionary. He unified the country, and to go along with that, he standardized the currency. The emperor abolished all the old forms of money. He introduced a single, official coin for his entire empire. This was a round bronze coin with a square hole in the center. This design was incredibly practical. The round shape represented heaven, and the square hole represented the earth. More importantly, the hole allowed people to string the coins together. A string of 1,000 coins, called a string of cash, became a standard unit of value. This made it possible to carry and count large amounts of money easily. This design was so successful that it remained the basis of Chinese coinage for over 2,000 years. Unlike Western coins, which often featured portraits of rulers, Chinese coins were much more focused on text. They typically had 4 characters on them. These characters usually stated the name of the emperor's reign, and an inscription, like circulating treasure. This focus on the written word reflected the importance of calligraphy and bureaucracy in Chinese culture. The coins were a symbol of the emperor's authority, but in a more abstract and uniform way. The consistency of the design over many centuries provided a sense of stability and continuity, even as dynasties rose and fell. The Chinese cash coin system had a huge influence on surrounding countries. Japan, Korea, and Vietnam all adopted similar round coins with square holes. These coins facilitated a massive trade network across East Asia. The sheer volume of coins produced in China was staggering. During the Song dynasty, the government was minting billions of coins every year. This massive supply of money fueled a vibrant commercial economy. In fact, the Chinese were so advanced that they even invented the world's first paper money around the 11th century when they ran into copper shortages. Throughout history, certain coins have become so famous and trusted that they transcended borders. They became international currencies, shaping trade on a global scale. One of the earliest examples after the Greek owl was the Byzantine solidus, first introduced by the Emperor Constantine in the 4th century AD. This gold coin was incredibly stable. It maintained its weight and purity for over 700 years. Because of this reliability, it was known as the dollar of the Middle Ages. Merchants from Europe to India knew and trusted the solidus, making it the backbone of international trade for centuries. Another legendary coin was the Spanish silver dollar, also known as the piece of 8. Mined in massive quantities from the rich silver deposits of Spanish colonies in Mexico, Peru, and Bolivia, these large silver coins dominated world trade from the 16th to the 19th centuries. They were legal tender in many countries, including the young United States. In fact, the US dollar was based directly on the Spanish dollar. The famous dollar sign is believed to have evolved from a symbol representing the pillars on the Spanish coin. These coins funded the Spanish Empire and fueled a new era of global commerce. In the Islamic world, the gold dinar and silver dirham became dominant currencies. Standardized in the late 7th century, these coins were beautifully inscribed with verses from the Quran, instead of images, in keeping with Islamic tradition. They were minted to a very high standard of purity and weight. This quality, combined with the vast reach of Islamic trade networks, made the dinar and dirham trusted currencies from Spain to Central Asia. They helped to spread not only goods, but also ideas and culture across this huge region, contributing to the Islamic Golden Age. One more coin that deserves mention is the Maria Theresa thaler. This beautiful silver coin was first minted in Austria in 1741, featuring a portrait of Empress Maria Theresa. Even after her death in 1780, the coin was so popular in Africa and the Middle East that the Austrian mint continued to produce it with the same date. For over 200 years, it was a primary currency in places like Ethiopia and Yemen. This shows the incredible power of trust. People preferred this familiar, high-quality silver coin to their own local currencies. It's a perfect example of how a single coin can leave a lasting legacy on the world. For most of history, making coins was slow and difficult work. Each coin was struck by hand. A worker would place a blank piece of metal between 2 dies, the stamps with the design, and hit the top die with a large hammer. This process was not very precise. Coins were often off-center, had uneven thickness, and varied in weight. It was also easy for people to clip or shave off small pieces of the precious metal from the edges of the coins. To combat this, mints began adding ridges to the edges, a practice called reeding that we still use today. The big change came in the 16th and 17th centuries with the invention of new machines. The screw press was a major innovation. It used a large, weighted screw to press the dies onto the blank coin with immense and even pressure. This created a much sharper and more uniform image than hand hammering ever could. It also allowed for the creation of a raised rim and reeded edge, all in one step. This technology, perfected in mints like the one in Paris, marked the beginning of the end for hand-struck coins and the start of the modern minting era. The Industrial Revolution in the 18th and 19th centuries took coin production to a whole new level. Steam power was the key. Matthew Boulton, a British inventor, partnered with James Watt to create a steam-powered coining press in 1788. This machine was a marvel of its time. It could automatically feed blank coins, strike them with perfect precision, and eject the finished product. A single press could produce over 50 coins a minute, a speed that was previously unimaginable. This technology made coins cheaper to produce and far more consistent, which helped to stabilize national economies. Today, making coins is a highly advanced automated process. It begins with long strips of metal, which are fed into a blanking press that punches out round discs called planchets. These planchets are then heated to soften them, washed, and polished. Finally, they are fed into a high-speed coining press. Modern presses can strike over 700 coins per minute, with incredible force and precision. The dies are created using computer-guided lasers, allowing for extremely detailed designs. From a handheld hammer to a computer-controlled press, the journey of coin making shows the incredible progress of technology. The story of American coins is deeply connected to the story of the nation itself. After declaring independence, the new United States needed its own currency to show it was a real, sovereign nation. The Coinage Act of 1792 established the U.S. Mint in Philadelphia and authorized the first American coins. The dollar was chosen as the basic unit, based on the familiar Spanish dollar. Early coins were made of gold, silver, and copper, and their value was tied directly to the value of the metal they contained. This was a bold statement of economic independence. The designs of U.S. coins have always reflected the nation's values. Early coins featured images of Lady Liberty, a symbol of freedom, rather than a living president or king. The idea was that in a democracy, power rests with the people, not a single ruler. It wasn't until the early 20th century that a real person, Abraham Lincoln, appeared on a circulating coin, the penny, in 1909. Since then, coins have become a way to honor our most respected presidents, like Washington on the quarter, Jefferson on the nickel, and Roosevelt on the dime. American coins have also marked important moments in our history. The famous Buffalo nickel, designed in 1913, was part of an effort to create more uniquely American coin designs, featuring a Native American on one side and an American bison on the other. The 50 State Quarters program, launched in 1999, was a huge success. It got millions of people excited about collecting coins and learning about the different states. Each quarter became a small celebration of the unique history and culture of a part of our country. These programs show how coins can be used to unite the nation and celebrate our shared heritage. Over the years, the metals used in our coins have changed. As silver became more expensive, the U.S. government stopped using it in dimes and quarters in 1965. Coins are now made of cheaper metals like copper and nickel, clad together in layers. The penny, once pure copper, is now mostly zinc with a thin copper coating. These changes reflect economic realities, but even though their metal value has decreased, our coins still hold their value as money because we trust the government that issues them. They remain powerful symbols of our economy and our national identity. Today, as we stand in 2026, we live in a world of digital transactions. We use credit cards, smartphone apps, and online banking. Some people predict that physical money, including coins, will one day disappear completely. It is true that we use them less for large purchases. However, coins are still a vital part of our daily lives. They are essential for small transactions, for vending machines, for parking meters, and for giving a child their first allowance. They provide a simple, reliable form of payment that works without electricity or an internet connection. The role of coins has always been about more than just their monetary value. They are historical artifacts that we can hold in our hands. An archaeologist who finds a single ancient coin can learn a great deal about the civilization that made it. They can learn about its economy, its technology, its art, and its political structure. In the same way, the coins we use today will tell future generations a story about us. They will see our leaders, our symbols, and the materials we value. Coins are a durable record of our time on this planet. Furthermore, coins connect us to a global community. Every country in the world has its own coins, each with its own story. When you travel and use a foreign currency, you are holding a piece of that country's identity. Looking at the images on a Japanese yen, A Mexican peso or a European euro gives you a small window into another culture. The global system of currency exchange, which all started with those first Lydian coins, continues to link our economies and our lives together in a complex and fascinating way. Coins are a universal language of value. So, while the future of money may be digital, the legacy of coins is secure. They were one of the most important inventions in human history. They brought order to trade, helped build empires, and spread art and ideas across the globe. They have been witnesses to war and peace, prosperity and decline. They are small monuments to human ingenuity and trust. Whether you are a serious collector or just someone with a few cents in your pocket, you are part of this incredible 2,700-year-old story, and that is a legacy worth much more than the metal they are made of.